Beautiful, isn't it? Today, me, Professor Caprick, and my associate, Dr. Farty Fat, or as he likes to be called, Fatty Fart, we're going to explore lovely old Rodbourne today to find something even more beautiful. Mud. There are all different kinds of mud in this Rodbourne. Small bits, big bits. Lots of muddy mud butts.
The mud in Rodbourne is quite spectacular, always around, and there's plenty of it.
But here today in Rodbourne, we're going to look at a specific type of mud. Well, in the first section of this programme, we'll be looking at brown mud, which is most common in Rodbourne. This is the actual brown mud I was talking about. Less common in other places, but often found in Rodbourne. It's fine and sandy, which is really what most mudologists are looking for. Here, Professor Caprick shows us an example of black mud.
This is black mud. It's very rare and can reach a price of 5p per tonne. It is only found in places like Rodbourne. Take note of the quality and the texture of the mud. It is very similar to black mud's full gold, but as you can see, it's very good quality indeed.
Spangliflem mud is very sandy indeed, almost like the sand you'd find at a beach, but maybe more soily and with less texture.
Here we have excavated about a foot down to find this lovely, good quality clay mud. You do have to dig for this.
This wonderful grey mud, with its smooth, silky texture and wonderful aroma, is found only in Rodbourne and no other place, apart from 5 miles away in a small town of Malmesbury. But the thing is, this is so special to this particular village, as the village has nothing but this precise.
This is a good example of some common mud. Very common mud indeed. We've left this one till last because it is common and we do not like it. You can see how rough it is. It's got all sorts of different kind of muds in, and it is such a very common mud indeed. This is known as the common mud.
Here we have 6 of the main examples of Rodbourne mud. Kawabaki mud, Slubecker mud, brown mud, black mud, Igeon's clay, and last but not least, Brewdowish's mud. These are the main 6 types of mud there are in Rodbourne, but that doesn't mean there aren't any more. Researchers are still looking out for special new ones. The main properties of these mud is very good. Professor Caprick was specifically interested in the black muds of Rodbourne.
This is an average, normal, everyday jam jar. I take the black mud with this old toothbrush and we scoop some into the jam jar. We only need a small amount for the experiment I'm about to carry out. Now, as you can see, the mud is now in there and ready for the experiment. If you'd like to follow me to the kitchen. With this mud, we get the old toothbrush again. You can see the mud is still in there. We put some water in it. Make sure it's at a nice even temperature, like so. You can see. You can see the mud is now in there and mixing up well. You get the toothbrush and scoop some on like so. Put this back down. Now, you may wonder what you can do with this mud now. Well, I wonder myself sometimes. So we're here to find out. It's now used as a new toothpaste, leaving my teeth sparkling and shining.
My particular favourite is the brown sand of Rodbourne. So if I just take my little piece, we shall be taking it back to the laboratory and dissecting it. Here we have a nice example of the brown soil, and we shall be using it very soon. Here I have my watered down and purified example of red Rodbourne soil, or less known as brown Rodbourne soil. It's probably my favourite out of all of the types of soil, and it's like one of those the soils that's very rare, and as Professor Cadprick said, can often fetch up to 5 pence a tonne. This particular one is very special. This is probably my favourite because of the colour, the rich, dense colour that makes it so special. You can often tell how good a soil is by the way it sounds. You think I'm joking? Well, by listening to the way a soil sounds, you can tell if it's an A grade, B grade, C grade, DJ, gay or sad. This is definitely A grade brown soil from Rodbourne. Also a meal that you can enjoy again and again. Never do I tire of this taste. Lovely. The three major mud groups are Ponsperrii, Contotai and Frenchatai. Now those are very important to the Rodbourne muds, as it has all three of them, unlike places where, like London, that have nothing.
So far we have discovered there are three major mud groups: Phosphorus, Muddichitis, and Espelinotus. We have come to learn and love the muds we have in this country, as the Queen well appreciates. When I was a boy, I used to live in a village a long, long way from here, and it was covered in mud. We used to live in a mud house. We used to make everything we had out of mud, pardon me. Yeah, as I was saying, mud. Used to be covered in mud, but now we've got all these roads, houses, new age techniques. Mud is now being a vital cause in our new development of first aid. We can use it for all kinds of things like such as mud. Well, that's enough of me. Now back to Professor Fatima.
The main properties of the mud around this area are very important. The three main being isotonic, mosotonic and G-sotonic. They vary in many different ways, and the chromoids of them probably vary the most. Any chance of any more scotch? Mud in the dictionary. A fine grain, soft, wet deposit that occurs on the ground after the rain, at the bottom of the ponds, lakes, etc. Not at all clear. This leads us on to drag. Drag being the soft deposit on the bottom of lakes, ponds, etc. But the main fun that I find out of mud, the part of it that I find thrilling, is not where ladies fight in it, or anything crazy like that, but the colour. Just the plain colour of it. It's amazing. And of course, the only part of it that's not sorry, what did I say? Professor Cradprick is now on the scene, and he's talking about the properties of mud.
So, now we have come to the last part of our programme, and unfortunately the last in the present series due to the budget. We cannot afford no more alcohol. But we got what we can and we're going to enjoy it. So, properties of mud. There are no properties. It's all a bloody lie. We just do this to make a bit of money. Drink, of course.
I mean, what I find so special about mud is that that you can look at it all day and get totally piss bored.
Yeah, there's a point there. Anyway, what we were saying all before is just total pack of lies. It doesn't mean anything. We're just a bunch of alcoholics who tries to make a living. Any more drink? I don't seem to see any more.
No, of course not. I happen to think that that mud is extremely important.
Really?
Yeah, and the main reason why I think it's so important is what would you walk on if you didn't have mud?
I tell you, I walk on a pad no matter. I walk on a bloody pavement. I would, you know.
That's all very well, but what's infinity?
How long is a piece of string?
Can you have a line with only one end?
Is there a cord without a bottom?
What?
Anyway, the time has about come now where we have to say goodbye. That time is coming up soon. Where the bloody hell's filming this?
Oh yeah.
So,
Swish off.
cheers.
Swish off, you bastards, all of you.